Hello everyone, welcome to the new video lecture of subject Interconnected Power System. Myself Himanshu Joshi. I am an assistant professor in Sri Labhubhai Trivedi Institute of Engineering and Technology, Rajkot. So let's continue our topic from chapter number 5, that is frequency and voltage control methods. So our today's topic is tie line bias control. So this is the method used for the controlling the frequency of interconnected power system. So this is the another method for frequency control. So let's study this tie line biased control. So this is the most widely used method for large interconnected station. So tie line load bias control method that is used for frequency control, and it is the most widely used method for large interconnected power station. So in this method, all the power system assist in regulation frequency and tie line power flow irrespective of disturbance. So in interconnected power system, if there is a disturbance occurs in any area, then all the power system assist are used for the regulation of frequency and tie line power flow irrespective of disturbance. If in particular area, if there is a disturbance occurs or not, then their region generator are also used for the frequency and power control if there is a disturbance occurs in another area. So irrespective of disturbance, irrespective of area, all the power system assist are used for the regulation of frequency and tie line power flow control. So this method is the modification of previously studied method, that is the flat frequency control and selective frequency control. So what does it mean? So we can say that in this particular method, the main principle is that all operating pool members must be contribute their share for frequency control in addition of taking care of their own net interchange. That means all the units are used for the control of frequency and tie line power with their own net interchange. That means each and every unit will take care of its own, and if required it will also used for caring of others also. So in this particular diagram you can see that the actual characteristics is shown by z dash z. Now the slope of the line z dash z can be adjusted for the control, provides for more flexibility for operating condition. Clear? Z dash z, we can adjust the slope of this line for controlling the frequency and tie line power. That means to control the flexibility of the system, we are going to adjust the slope of this particular line. So consider the two area system. Over here, let's consider the two area system. Now the area X is equipped with flat frequency controller, and area Y is provided with tie line bias controller. Clear? Area X is equipped with flat frequency controller and area Y is provided with tie line bias controller. Now for the case where tie line bias controller in X initiates the action for load changes, so now its response is somewhat like this. Clear? This is the area X, this is the area Y. Now if there is a load change in area X, if there is a load change in area X, then we can say that this area X is equipped with flat frequency controller. Clear? This area X is equipped with flat frequency controller. So, we can say that it can change its characteristics in parallel manner. Clear? Suppose from this direction to this direction and from this direction to this direction. Clear? So, it will change its characteristics in parallel manner. Now this system, the controller Y comes in picture. Clear? Now, if there is a change in X region, then with this controller, tie line bias controller will also shift its characteristics in such a manner that it will maintain its frequency constant. It will maintain its frequency constant. Suppose this line will shift this line to the parallel line. Clear? Suppose this line will shift its characteristics in this particular manner. Then with this, the controller Y is also change its characteristics to maintain the overall frequency constant. To maintain the overall frequency constant. So, tie line bias control is used to maintain the frequency constant. To maintain the frequency constant. Suppose this is the initial frequency of operation. That means this characteristics and this characteristics. Now, if there is a change in load, then the line will drop its frequency, and new frequency operation will be this. So, to maintain the frequency constant, this controller, tie line bias controller, will also shift its characteristics, and again it will set at this particular frequency, and new settling frequency will be this. So, in this manner, both the governor or both the alternator or both the unit will change its frequency, and it will again settle down at new frequency. So, this is the controlling action for local load changes. Now consider the case when controller initiates action for non-local load changes. So, we can say that controller will not act if the slope of controller characteristics is maintained to that of the governing characteristics. That means if unit is capable for handling the load changes of their own, then the outside controller will not act, because the particular governor has a capability to handling of that load. But if that particular controller is not able to handle that particular load, then the tie line bias control will comes in picture. So, during this period, the controller Y is prevented from the regulating the system, and the incremental changes are corrected by controller X only. That means if the disturbance occurs in X, and if X is able to handle that particular load, then controller Y will not act. Clear? If the disturbance is handled or hand over by the X, then Y will not act. This controller will act when this disturbance cannot be handled by itself. So this is the controlling action for non-local load changes. That means local means disturbance occur in this region handled by its own controller. Clear? Now if disturbance occurs in this region and cannot be handled by this controller, then this controller will comes in picture. It will change its characteristics and maintain the system frequency constant. So for this controller, this disturbance is now it's a non-local. It's non-local. So this is the tie line load bias control. So the controller in the particular area where load changes occurs acts in such a manner that the area absorb its load change. Only single shift is necessary for the governor characteristics to restore the both frequency and tie line power. That means how controller will have to act. So the controller in that particular area where load changes occurs, that controller acts in such a manner that the area absorb its load change. The area or that controller has to be absorb its load change. So the single shift is necessary for the governor to restore the frequency and tie line power. That means single shift means this single shift is necessary either in this direction or in this direction to handle the frequency and tie line power control. So this is the way the controller will act. Now these are the different types of tie line load bias control characteristics. So these are the three types of controller characteristics. From that we know that flat line control characteristics, flat line control characteristics. Second one is the flat frequency controller characteristics. Second one is the flat frequency control characteristics. These two are the tie line bias control characteristics. These two are tie line bias control characteristics. First one has zero bias. First one has zero bias and second one has infinitive bias. Second one has infinitive bias. That means over here is zero bias. That means the power is constant. Power is constant. That means there is a zero interchange of power between tie line. So this is the characteristics of flat tie line controller with zero bias. Over here there is a infinite bias. That means from here to up to infinite bias. That means frequency is constant. Over here frequency is constant, but interchange of power, that means tie line power is infinite range. Power is having a range of infinite. Over here power is constant. That means zero bias, but change in frequency is infinite. Change in frequency is infinite. So if we merge these two characteristics, then we will get the actual tie line bias controller. We will get the actual tie line bias controller. That means there are different characteristics like this, and we can adjust the slope of these characteristics to maintain the frequency and power constant. And over here we can also observe that the tie line bias with less slope, That means characteristics will look like this. The tie line bias characteristics with less slope is more sensitive to load changes. So, the characteristics which is having a less slope is more sensitive to load change, and characteristics which is having a higher slope, then it is having a more sensitive to frequency. So, we can say that this is the characteristics for tie line load bias control. Now, consider the mismatching of tie line bias controller characteristics. Mismatching of tie line bias control characteristics. Suppose this is the system frequency. And controller 1 and controller 3. Now, this controller 1 and controller 3 will match at this point. So, system is having a frequency for Fs because both characteristics are matched at this point. So, system will be stable at this particular point. Now, suppose frequency falls from Fs to F dash. Now, what will happen? So, Fs change from F dash. Now, to maintain the system stable, what will happen? The characteristics 1 is shifted upward to 1 dash. So, 1 is shifted to 1 dash and 3 is shifted from 3 to 3 dash. 3 is shifted from 3 to 3 dash. So, what will happen? 1 change from 1 to 1 dash and 3 will be changed from 3 to 3 dash. So, both characteristics again meet at this point. So, what will happen? After the changing the slope of governor characteristics, new frequency will again raise from F dash to F. How this will be possible? Just by frequency controller characteristics. 1 will shift its characteristics to 1 dash, 3 will shift its characteristics to 3 dash. So, again you will get the new stable point, that is the 1 double dash, and again frequency raise from F dash to F. So, in this manner the characteristics change and frequency will get regulated. So, this is known as the mismatching of tie line bias control characteristics, and this is the way that controller will act and find out the new stable point which is having a stable frequency point. So, this is the frequency control. So, with this we will cover the portion of frequency control mechanism. Now, we will shift over the voltage control. Now, we will shift our topics from frequency control to voltage control. We have completed the frequency control topics. We have studied all the things which is related to frequency control. Now, it is time for voltage control. So, we will learn brief about the voltage control in this particular lecture, and specially we will learn the method of voltage control. Clear? So we will just make a list for the methods used for the voltage control. So the first method is shunt compensation, second one is the series compensation, third method is synchronous condenser, or we can say that synchronous phase modifier, fourth method is tape changing transformer, fifth method is booster transformer, and last method is thyristorized static var compensator. So 6 methods are used for the voltage control in interconnected power system. So shunt compensation can be done by shunt reactor and shunt capacitor. Series compensation is done by series capacitors. Synchronous condenser and synchronous modifier, that is known as synchronous compensator. Tape changing transformer, we are having a two method. First one is off-load tape changing transformer, second one is the on-load tape changing transformer. Booster transformer is a device used for the voltage control, and sixth one is the static var compensators. There are many compensator device used for the voltage control. If I will make a short list of that device, then their names are, first one is the TSC. That means thyristor switch capacitor. TSC means thyristor switch capacitor. Second one is the TSR or TCR, that means thyristor switch reactor or thyristor controlled reactor. TSR means thyristor switch reactor, TCR means thyristor controlled reactor. Third one is the FCTCR, that means fixed capacitor thyristor controlled reactor. FCTCR means fixed capacitor thyristor controlled reactor. Fourth one is the TSC-TCR. That means thyristor switch capacitor thyristor controlled reactor. TSC-TCR means thyristor switch capacitor thyristor controlled reactor. So these are the list of method used for voltage control. In our next lecture, we are going to discuss all the methods and the concept behind the voltage control of large interconnected power system. So from the next lecture, you will get the videos related to methods of voltage control, or we can say that voltage control in interconnected power system. So thank you very much. With this, we will conclude our session. If you have any doubt, any question, you can give your doubt and question in comment section. Thank you very much.